I'd like to call the caucus to order. First piece of legislation from the Planning Commission for second reading is ordinance amending and restating Chapter 21, Health, Safety, and Sanitation of the Planning and Zoning Code of the Codified Ordinance of the Village of Lordstown. Comments? Second one's from Transportation, Senior Services, Planning and Zoning and Recreation Committee for emergency passage, an ordinance creating various seasonal part-time employment positions for the fall 2015 recreation program, setting wages for the same and declaring an emergency. Comments?
We'd like to see this passed as an emergency tonight.
Any other comments? Okay, are there any questions on the minutes in front of you for approval this evening? Hearing none, are there any questions on the bills? Hearing none, anything council would like to bring up and discuss this time? There's some appointments for the Recreation Department and also resignation from one firefighter I'll be asking for this evening. Okay. Hearing none, we'll adjourn the caucus and start the regular meeting. I'd like to welcome everybody this evening. Could you please stand and join me for the Lord's Prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and glory forever. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Bill, if I could have a roll call, please.
Mayor Hill.
Present.
Mr. Bond.
Here.
Mr. Mansell.
Present.
Mr. Radcliffe.
Present.
Mrs. Jones.
Present.
Mr. Shealy. Here. Mr. Reeder.
Present.
Clerk Blank. Present. Treasurer George Evelyn.
Here.
Solicitor Paul Dutton.
Present.
Police Chief Brent Milham.
Present.
Fire Chief Travis Eastham. Planning and Zoning Economic Development Kelly Bordner.
Present.
Parks, Buildings, Grounds, and Street Commissioner Del Groom.
Present.
Recreation Marty Gibson.
Here.
Board of Public Affairs.
Present.
Municipal Engineer Chris Joe.
Entertain a motion to excuse Chris Kajalnik. He gave me a call, said he did not have a report, and asked if he could be excused, and I told him I'd bring it for council, and also Travis Eastham, still on second shift. I'll entertain a motion to have those two excused.
So moved.
Moved by John, second by Karen. Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Entertain a motion for adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Radka, second Bond. Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Entertain a motion for disposal of the minutes of the public hearing held August 3rd, 2015, and the regular meeting held August 3rd, 2015.
So moved.
Moved by Shealy, second by Reeder. Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Entertain a motion for payment of the bills. Moved by Jones, second by Shealy. Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Mayor's report. I mentioned I have some appointments for council's approval this evening. Also, have one person taken off the fire department. They're moving to Central Illinois to begin a new career as a high school science teacher in their hometown. So I got that in my box today, so I'll be asking council to approve that. The Kunkel building. Mr. Mansell and I met a gentleman from Eastern Gateway Community College, and he went through the building with us week before last. It's painted, the floor is in, the building looks well. They're still looking at Eastern Gateway putting in a welding lab in that building. There was a message on my answering machine when I got back from vacation last week saying that they want to get a memorandum of understanding between us and the village. I believe in the future there may be a chance that they may eventually would like to take over the whole building, but that depends on how the class sizes grow. That's for Kunkel. Got a text this morning from Mr. Superintendent Armstrong from the school. He asked if I would announce that they're having a meet the team night Thursday at 7 o'clock at the school for the fall sports season. When I talked to Mr. Kajalnik earlier today, he said that North Point is still moving forward on their plans for the property up there, so when they do get ready to move, they'll have a lot of stuff in line. I talked to Mr. Mansell, and he and I have decided, I know it was brought up, the council wasn't going to approve any more funding yet, but once we find out what's going on, we'll pass it forward to council, to the finance committee, and make sure we're going to be getting reimbursed for the money we've already allocated for CT. Paving has started in the village. They're grinding. Hopefully they'll be done the next month or two. And another thing, there'll also be a notice in the newsletter. Clean Energy Futures was asked to buy or bid on a couple hogs, which the fire chief's daughter had for 4-H at the Trumbull County Fair, and he got them. And he had texted me and asked, what could we do with it? There's over 400 pounds of meat with this. So, in talking with Mr. Ross from Ross Foods, Charlene Farms has dressed the hogs out, and August 28th at 4 to 8, it's a Friday night, they're going to be having dinners. They'll be $10, also to go, and the proceeds are going to benefit the Lordstown Firefighters Ladies Auxiliary. So if anybody would like to show up for that, it will be on the newsletter. And at 7:30 there will be a band up there at Ross's, and like I said, they'll have to-go orders: ham steak, ham and bean soup, sausage, barbecued, pulled pork, pork chops. A little over 400 pounds was donated to the village for the fundraiser for the Ladies Auxiliary, so passing that on in case anybody wants to avoid cooking that night. That's it for the mayor's report. Is there a clerk's report?
No report, Mayor.
Is there a or any questions for Bill? Is there a solicitor's report?
No report.
That's a surprise. Any questions for Paul? Treasurer's report.
No report.
Any questions for George? Board of Trustees of Public Affairs report.
Our regular meeting is this Thursday here at 4 o'clock.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for John? Village engineer is not with us this evening. Special reports. Police Chief Milhone.
I have no report, Mr. Mayor, but I would like to let everyone know that we had another resident purchase another 50 We Support Our Police signs. So I currently have about 40 left right now. So if there's anyone out there that would like one, they are free. Just give me a call and we'll deliver them to your home.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Brent? Travis was excused this evening. Planning and Zoning Administrator and Director of Economic Development, Kelly.
Business as usual in the Planning and Zoning Office. No report, sir.
Okay. Any questions for Kelly? Parks, Grounds, Buildings, Street Superintendent, Mr. Grimm.
Just that as you said, the road paving is underway. We're hoping to have the paving done within the next couple of weeks on the roads that are ground now. I also spoke with John Hall today from Lindy State Line Paving. They're the ones that's going to be redoing Pritchard Old Town and then doing Salt Springs from Todd Avenue to Highland Avenue. He is under the understanding that before they do Pritchard Old Town, they're waiting to get all the equipment moved out from both locations instead of coming out and doing just Pritchard Old Town and then coming out and just doing Salt Springs. They want to do it as a package deal. So it's still on schedule for this year, though.
Okay. Any questions for Dale? Recreation, Marty.
Just to approve my new employees for the fall program.
Okay, any questions for Marty? Bill, do we have any correspondence this evening?
No correspondence.
Public remarks. If you'd like to make a public remark after I acknowledge you, please come to the microphone and give your name and address so we can get it recorded in the minutes correctly. Public remarks. Hearing none, are there any council remarks? Hearing none, committee reports. Finance, Mr. Radka.
No report tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, any questions for Ron? Parks, Buildings, Grounds, General Improvements, Streets and Sidewalks, Mrs. Jones.
I have no report except to say that I reiterate what the mayor said about Kunkel being done. They've done an excellent job down there. We do have an issue with some transformers, and at our meeting this evening, we gave permission to purchase the 3 transformers that are needed for down there at a cost not to exceed $18,000. And that That should be the last thing we need to do, we have to do, to get that thing ready to rent the whole place.
Okay, any questions for Karen? Public Safety and Welfare, Mr. Reader.
No report, Mr. Mayor.
Questions for Don? Public Utilities, Mr. Bond.
I have no report this evening, Mr. Mayor.
Any questions for Bob? Transportation, Recreation, and Senior Services, Mr. Shealy.
Just one piece of legislation I'd like to see passed tonight. And then I was at the concert that we had last Thursday. There was quite a few people there, what, about 60 or 70 maybe or more?
It was over 100.
Was there? Okay.
Yeah,
And the band, the guys with Doc Ties, it was a good band.
there's a big
They
crowd.
had a lot of good music. Well, I didn't do a head count.
I wish I were there, but I was on vacation,
Well,
so.
so was I, but I made a special appointment to be there.
Ooh, you're the man, Howard.
I can sing.
Okay, any questions for Howard? Okay, hearing none. Bill, if we get on the first piece of legislation.
From Planning Commission for second reading. An ordinance amending and restating Chapter 521, Health, Safety, and Sanitation of the Planning and Zoning Code of the Codified Ordinances of the Village of Lordstown.
Are there any comments? Hearing none, I declare it at its second reading. Next, please.
From Transportation, Senior Services, Planning and Zoning, and Recreation Committee for emergency passage. An ordinance creating various seasonal part-time employment positions for the fall 2015 recreation program, setting wages for the same, and declaring an emergency.
Comments or motions on this piece of legislation?
Motion to suspend the rules.
Motion to suspend the rules by Jones, second.
Second.
Second by Radka. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bond,
Yes.
Mr. Mansell,
Yes.
Mr. Reader,
Yes.
Mrs. Jones.
Yes.
Mr. Radcliffe.
Yes.
Mr. Shealy.
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays. Motion carried to suspend the rules. Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Moved by Shealy, second by Mansell. Comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Shealy,
Yes.
Mr. Radcliffe,
Yes.
Mrs. Jones.
Yes.
Mr. Reader,
Yes.
Mr. Mansell,
Yes.
Mr. Bond.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays. Motion carried to adopt. Ordinance 39, 2015. Is there any old business council would like to discuss at this time? Hearing none, we'll go on to new business. Is there anything council would like to bring up before I get on the roll here? Okay. I'd like to accept the have council accept the resignations from firefighter, paramedic, from Trevor Smith, who's moving to Illinois. Entertain a motion to that effect.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Reader, second Bond. Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. What? Hurry up. Yeah. Okay. Rec program. I'd like to have council approve the following people for the fall rec program. Instructors, Jane Grider, Ginny Taylor. Supervisors, Nancy Trews, Bonnie Taylor, Nicholas Johnson. That's it?
So moved.
Moved by Jones, second.
Second.
Second Shealy. Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We'll be having 2 brief executive sessions. No action will be taken after that, and they will be after the additional public remarks, if there are any. First executive session will be for contract negotiations, the prosecutor's contract. I'll entertain a motion to have that executive session, inviting mayor, solicitor, counsel, clerk, and Brent, do you need on that one?
If you want me there.
Yeah, we'll have Brent there too, and Kelly, because they also deal with the prosecutor. That'll be the first executive session. Motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mansell, second. Second by Radka. Comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Bond,
Yes.
Mr. Mansell,
Yes.
Mr. Reader,
Yes.
Mr. Shealy,
Yes.
Mrs. Jones.
Yes.
Mr. Radcliffe.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays. Motion carried for that executive session. The second one will be over possible acquisition of property, and I'd like to invite the solicitor, mayor, council, clerk, and Kelly. And these will not be long executive sessions. I'll entertain a motion to that effect.
So moved.
Moved by Radka, second.
Second.
Second Shealy. Comments? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Jones.
Yes.
Mr. Bond,
Yes.
Mr. Radcliffe,
Yes.
Mr. Mansell,
Yes.
Mr. Shealy,
Yes.
Mr. Reader.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Okay, 6 ayes, 0 nays for that executive session. Also, I believe one third one had just come up, possible litigation involving the paving project, and that would be everybody up here with the exception of Mr. Ebling and Dale Grimm, the police chief, and Kelly, and that I don't believe will be that long either. I'll entertain a motion for that executive session, possible litigation over the paving project.
So moved.
Moved by Jones, second by Shealy. Comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Reader.
Yes.
Mr. Mansell.
Yes.
Mr. Bond.
Yes.
Mrs. Jones.
Yes?
Mr. Shealy.
Yes.
Mr. Ratner.
Yes.
Okay, 6 ayes, 0 nays for that third executive session. Is there any other new business at this time council would like to discuss? Hearing none, are there any additional public remarks? Okay, everybody's welcome to stay if they'd like. The only action to be taken after executive sessions will be to adjourn. Thank you for attending this evening.
Hey, Dave, on this legislation,